Hello, we're going to talk about soil samples today. We have our handy dandy soil probe here, and it's important that we keep it to be, I think that's 3 inches. We certainly don't want a soil probe that just goes indiscriminately down as long as you want to get it. But this is where turf and turf roots grow, and so this is the environment that we want to extrapolate and send to the lab so that they can analyze this area. We don't want the lab analyzing a 6-inch area, because grass roots in the kind of soils our customers have don't go that deep. It'd be great if they did. Nevertheless, we want to get 3 inches, not 2. 4 wouldn't be the end of the world, but just make sure, because there are probes that we have from time to time in the office that don't have the wooden dowel. Possibly slow down and ask Jay if we need to go ahead and get a wooden dowel in there if you do see a probe, but just make sure your probe is a 3-inch probe, because when we obtain the soil, one more thing. So make sure at the beginning of your day that you go ahead and get Ziploc bags for while you're out in the field. That's what we're going to put the soil in. And then as of 2022, the year of 2022, this is still what we've been using for over a decade now, is these little boxes. And so after you empty your soil into the Ziploc bag, you actually, if you have a bucket like this, you could just use the bucket and not even have the bags, because what you're going to do is you're going to go, and I'm going to show you in this video how to get the soil, dump it either into a bag or into the bucket, either way. But then the end result is you want it to end up in this box. That's the big thing. And you want to label the box. We'll go through all that. So how do we do it? This is how we do it. Number one thing that can go wrong with soil samples is this piece right here. It screws on at the current moment. It might have been on here so long it's rusted its way onto here, but you never want to assume that it's rusted on there and it's going to stay on there. If this part right here comes off during your soil obtaining of the soil, then you're not going to be able to use this probe anymore, because it's beveled in such a way to where it comes in so that it can penetrate the soil in a way that when you bring it back out, it will actually keep the soil in the probe. So if this tip comes off in the soil or on your way back to the truck, then this is no longer any good. So I just did it without even thinking about it. Every time I go to do a soil sample, I'm doing this right here to make sure this thing is tight, because if that comes off, the whole operation is for naught. Will not happen. I'm going to try to stay closer to the camera, because I just realized I don't have a microphone. But so yeah, so what you want to do is find a bare spot. You know, if you try to go straight into this grass right here, it could work. In a really thick lawn, it's not going to work so well. So, you know, if it is really thick grass, I'm going to move it out of the way just a little bit. Don't want to take too much time doing that. But I'm going to try to go get dirt. I push in. If the ground is too hard, you know, you can use this foot peg. You never want to come sideways like this to try to get the thing out, because this probe will bend at this point right here. The probe will bend. We don't want it to bend. We want it to stay straight and strong. So straight in. If the ground is too hard to where you can't even beat it in like this, then we have to say, hey, we got to come back after they water their lawn, or after the good Lord brings some rain. Right now we've been getting plenty of rain, so it's going to be easy peasy anywhere in the metro area to get soil samples today. When you go down, so I went down, well, let's just go ahead and empty this one. So again, whether you're using a bag, or if you don't have room in your truck to bring, the bucket is the easiest place to use. But if you forgot your bucket, don't have room in your truck for a bucket, you can use a bag. And you're just gonna work it out. Flathead screwdrivers are really nice to use. It's much easier than using your finger or a pocket knife. So you get that main area out, and then you use your finger to push that last section out. Then you move on to the next one. The more you do it, the faster you'll get with it. So let's say evenly get, try to evenly get your 7 to 8 plugs. If you're doing a really big yard, you know, maybe 10 plugs. You're not going to be able to fit more than 10 plugs in this box, most likely. You don't want to just get 5 unless you're just doing a super duper small area. Even still, you want to try to get closer to 7 or 8 plugs, and evenly distribute those 7 or 8 plugs over the area. If you're there and the yard is like a really nice yard and there's just one area that we're trying to figure out what that one area, what's wrong with that, then don't go get, you know, 4 plugs from the good area and 4 from the bad. Get all 7 or 8 plugs from the bad area. If it's for the whole yard, if there's no job notes that tell you, you know, this is for a certain area, then you're properly assuming this is for the whole yard. So get your 7 to 8 plugs, you know, get 4 from the front, 4 from the back, and the 4 you get in the front, you know, get them from 4 corners, not the extreme corners, but anyway, y'all get the point. The point is to get a representation of the average of what's going on in this whole area. So yeah, I was going to show you one more time. So you got your bare spot. When you go in, sometimes you can't just go straight down, and you have to kind of twist your way down, and that's how that tip can come loose, especially if you twist the way that makes it lefty-loosey as opposed to righty-tighty when you're twisting the tip on. But twisting can sometimes help you get it down in there. And when you get to the bottom, the way, you know, if the moisture is a certain level and you go straight down and straight back up, you might just leave the soil right where it is. But if you do a little twist, did you get that? You do a little twist and then come up, it like cuts the soil right there. That's okay. It's not 100% perfect, but as long as you got most of that 3-inch sample, then you're good to go. So I think that's all. For the sake of this video, I'm going to pause for 5 seconds to see if there's anything else that I need to remember so I don't have to do another video. Y'all have any questions that maybe would be helpful?
I don't believe so.
Did I cover it all?
From what I can tell, yeah.
That was Will Bowdler's voice, by the way.
That was Will Bowdler's voice.
I will say that you want to make sure you can go ahead and take the extra step that we're going to have to do anyway. There's a lab number. It says provided by the lab, but we actually provide it for them. It's going to be a 5-digit number. And so if the customer's name is Smith, please do not write Smith, S-M-I-T-H. There's so many Smiths. Do the first 2 letters of the first name and then S-M-I. Now, if you're getting 2 from Mr. Joe Smith, then you might want to do J-O-S-M-B for Joe Smith back and J-O-S-M-F for Joe Smith front. So somehow in 5 digits represent who this sample is coming from, who it's for. Name would be
So
Weed Warriors.
By digits, you mean letters too?
Yeah, letters or numbers. Then Weed Warriors, you don't have to do the address. You can do our phone number. Oh, you know what? Ha! That is provided by the lab. This is where we put our field name or number that we get to choose what it's going to be. They put their own number on there. I was wondering why that would. So there you go. End of video. Have fun. Obtain soil. Test it.